And with that, Claudia, are you able to share your screen? Do I need to? Okay.
And share that right now.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Do you see the full view or the slide in the?
No, the full view.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for having me here today. And today, yes, I'm going to be talking to you about student employment opportunities. I am with the University Career Center. We are on social media at UTEP Careers. So if you want to like us or follow us on any of our social media, we'd greatly appreciate it. So that way you can keep up with everything that we have coming up. And you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube, again, at UTEP Careers. Also our website, utep.edu/careers. So that way you see everything else that we have coming up for our students. And my name is Claudia Dominguez. I'm the Assistant Director for the Career Center. I am a twice UTEP graduate. I graduated with my bachelor and my master's from UTEP. And I've been with the office of the Career Center for about 12 years now. So, and before that, I was at other offices at UTEP. So I pretty much just studied here and say, I'm not letting go. So I stayed. One of the services that I wanted to make you aware of is LinkedIn Learning. And this is a service for our students. And our students have free access to this with their single sign-on. If they go to my.utep.edu and they log in with their credentials, they're going to be able to see the icon for LinkedIn Learning. And this is a great resource because they have over 10,000 videos where they can look information from ranging from, for example, yoga to how to do a presentation with data to how to prepare more for an interview. So it's a vast array of services, of videos that we have there that are available to our students. All they need to do is just to go to my.utep.edu and click on the LinkedIn Learning logo, and they'll have access to all that. The purpose of today, again, like Jessica mentioned, is to introduce you to some of the services and programs we offer, and then to let you know about JobMind and familiarize you with the employment opportunities available to students. The Career Center supports students with a lot of different resources, with a lot of different tools that they need, such as on-campus employment, career advising. If a student already has in their mind, I would like to pursue a degree in human resources, but what realistically can I do with that degree? That's where we come in and we can provide some career advising in terms of options that they can do with that particular degree. What is the job market out there? What are the companies that are hiring? What kind of questions they may encounter when they go for that interview, and so on and so forth. We also provide information on internships. We host different career fairs, and all this information that you see here on the screen, mock interview, access to employers, and a lot of online resources are available in JobMind, and all of those are virtual right now. So we have gone virtual like pretty much all offices on campus, and we are working very diligently with all of our students, of course, maintaining the social distance, but doing everything else in terms of resume reviews, professional advising, job fairs. We've had already 3 job fairs virtually. So we're still going strong, even in this challenging times. And just to give you an idea about some organizations that hire on campus, these are some of them: Target, Charles Schwab, Raytheon, Google, Pepsi, Tyson, and of course we have other ones that are not here. Recently we had Tesla come in for a employer interview session. We have ADP, we have PwC. So a lot of different organizations that hire on campus, and we bring those to our students. All our students need to do is to prepare for that meeting with those recruiters, and they would be able to start talking to recruiters, to start getting to know them, to pitch their knowledge and what they've been doing, so that way they can tell their story in a way that the recruiters say, this is the student that I need to bring on board. This is who I need on my team. And again, in terms of student services, my apologies, it's jobs posted, and those are via JobMine. We have career fairs, again, 5 per year. And this year, since we went virtual last March, all of our career fairs have been via virtual format using a platform called Career Fair Plus. And we still have one more for this semester, and I'm going to let you know in a little bit about that particular fair. We have on-campus interviews, also virtual, for all of our recruiters. They come to campus, they want to interview students, and we try to establish that connection between the employer and the student, so that way the employers can interview the students in either Zoom, MS Teams, different platforms that we have available. Also, we have information tables, like I was telling you, Tesla came not that long ago. We've had a lot of sessions, and we have actually a series of sessions coming up with the FBI. Those are going to be conducted virtually. Resume referrals. This is when an organization let us know, hey, I'm looking for an engineering major who is a junior, who has a 3.0 and above, because we have this opportunity. So once we have that request from an employer, we, the Career Center, we go into JobMine, our database, and what we do is, if the students have allowed us to share their resume and they have it already in the system, we run a search in our system, all engineering majors 3.0 who are juniors, and then we submit that information to the recruiter, so that way they can start seeing who is a potential candidate for their organizations. And the way that this works is that, of course, the students need to activate their JobMine account and upload their revised resume in the system to be able to be eligible for these opportunities. All students that come to campus have already an account pre-created. All they need to do is to log in and activate their account. And by that, we mean logging into the system, updating their information, because the system's going to ask them for their telephone number, what is their major, their classification. They need to enter all that information to activate their account. And again, once they do it, they're eligible for all these services. JobMine connects students to part-time and full-time employment opportunities on and off campus. All work-study positions and most student employment opportunities will be posted in JobMine, and I'm going to go over those in a little bit. Also, for internships and co-ops, some students that say, I'm going to study the long semesters here at UTEP, spring and fall, but during the summer, I'm looking for an opportunity maybe outside of El Paso to go and put in practice what I'm learning in the classroom. And that way I can come back, I can build my resume a little bit more, and also I can have that hands-on experience that it's going to be pivotal for me in getting hired once I graduate. Some of these are paid. Some of these are unpaid. Most of our internships, or the internships that we have posted in JobMine, are paid opportunities, and those could be major related or non-major related. So it depends on the student. We have volunteer opportunities posted there, and professional employment. These are positions for students that have already graduated, or they are pursuing, for example, a grad degree, master's degree, PhD, and they already have that bachelor degree, and that way they can go ahead and apply for an opportunity with a particular company or organization. Now, in terms of work study and student employment, these are some of the differences. The work study, it's a need-based program. The students need to be eligible to receive federal or state financial aid. The process usually begins with their FAFSA application. For this, there's some requirements that the student must enroll in summer classes, or one summer class, 3 credits per class. And it's a part-time employment, and it's needs-based. The on-campus student employee program is for all students, regardless of whether they receive financial aid or not. So a lot of our international students that come from Mexico, from Bhutan, from India, get employment opportunities at UTEP through the on-campus student employee program, because this is, it said here need-based. This is not correct. It's part-time employment also. All students are eligible, and students do not need to enroll in summer classes to be part of this program. For both work-study positions and on-campus student employee programs, the students must be degree-seeking students. That means that the students need to be pursuing either a bachelor degree or master's degree or PhD degree. They must be enrolled full-time because the university, of course, it's all of our student employees are first and foremost students. So the university is interested in ensuring that the students are making academic progress as they go along. And that's why there's a limit as to how many hours they can work on campus. Because again, first and foremost, they need to be students, they need to be making academic progress, and we don't want a job to hinder that academic progress. And for undergrad students, the minimum GPA they need in order to be eligible to apply for these jobs, it's a 2.0 GPA. So JobMind, this is what it looks like from a student's view. You log into the system and you're going to have a dashboard, and this is what the dashboard looks like. If you see on the left-hand side, we have a lot of different resources. The dashboard, my profile, where they update their information. Once they advance and they're no longer freshmen and now they're sophomores, they need to go in and mark that in the system, or they're no longer sophomores, they're juniors. And then the third tab, it's jobs. But also we have information about internships and co-op records. Once they get a opportunity as an internship, we ask them to report that here in JobMind, to report their hire, because it can be considered an opportunity for them to have this information noted in their transcript. Also in terms of events, interviews, mock interviews, appointments, this is a place where they can look that information. But towards the bottom, if you see the document library, the second one from the bottom up, this is a place in JobMind where we have things such as resume samples by major, also things that they can do with their degree, questions that they may be expected to be asked depending on their major. So we have a lot of information for our students. All they need to do is to log into JobMind and start navigating and looking for those opportunities. Then the students select job search on the left-hand side of the menu, and the system is going to open a pop-up window like this. And this is, for example, if they look for a certain position type, again, if it's student, UTEP student employment or work study or an internship or a professional position, this is where they can do kind of like a screening, and they can look not only by position type, but also by keywords or classification, instead of looking at all jobs. And right now, because this screenshot was taken yesterday, we had 333 jobs. And that could be quite a bit for students to go over all 333 jobs. But if they look specifically, again, for UTEP student employment or work study, or in terms of keywords, UTEP, in terms of classification for juniors, that way the search will narrow and the students will be able to navigate easily through 20 jobs, for example, that may be on campus versus 333, because maybe a little bit too much for them to be going in and out. Another thing that I would like to mention to you all is that JobMind is web-based. So that means that the student can start looking for employment maybe on a Sunday afternoon, they're at home. There's nothing anymore on Netflix that would get their attention, so they can log into JobMind and they can start browsing and searching for those employment opportunities. Once the student selects a job, this is what they will see in terms of the job description. They will see the application due date, so they keep that in mind and they don't let that due date expire. They would see a job description. In this, every office posts this information according to their needs, of course. Then they would see the qualifications that they would need to fulfill the job, and then the eligibility. And as you can see here on the screen, it says work study eligibility required, no. So that means that this is a student employment opportunity. That means that it's open for all students, domestic and international students. And below the work study eligibility required, you're going to see a line right here that says US work eligibility. So that means they're eligible to work in the US and will require visa sponsorship now or in the future. That means that the students are international students. And in this case, it seems that it's open to all majors, and for classifications is for sophomore, juniors, and seniors. So it's a great opportunity for all students from all different backgrounds. Some of our students say, if I'm not an engineering major, there's no opportunities for me. No, we have opportunities for all students. There's jobs that are open to all majors and all classifications, and this is an example of that. Continuing with what they can find in the job description is the posting information. So they will find the name of the office on campus in this case that it's posting the job, how many hours per week, the salary, etc. And in the bottom part here, the application part, this is the nice feature about JobMind, that again, if I'm a student, I'm scrolling and I'm looking, this is a great opportunity for me. So if I already have a resume uploaded in the system, and in this case, as you can see, it's one of our test accounts. So that's why it says Daisy.Griselda, the name of the resume. But if the student has a resume already uploaded in the system, they can just click apply now. And with a couple of clicks, they already submitted their application for this position because they submitted the resume. And this is a great opportunity. Again, it doesn't take a lot of time. It's just finding that right match for our students to be successful in this particular employment opportunity. With a couple of clicks, apply now, and their application is complete. Some important dates that we have coming up. Again, we talk about career fairs. Our last career fair for the spring semester is going to be this internship and part-time job fair. And it's going to be held on Thursday, April the 1st from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's going to be virtual again using the app Career Fair Plus. And we have a lot of information in JobMind and in our website as to how students can download either the app to their phone, or they can look for the website and log in with their laptop or desktop. So that way they can go ahead and join us for this event. Again, I'm with the University Career Center, and we're virtual for appointments with our students. We usually meet via Microsoft Teams. We're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And again, social media, one of our biggest allies in terms of how we share information. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. We know that all of our students now are pretty much attached to their phone and have access to all these platforms. So that is why it's important that we are part of that too, so they can see everything that we are doing. And that's why we try to keep up with all of the social media and our website and everything else that we can do to assist our students. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now. So if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you so much, Claudia. Also, you are available to answer any questions in Spanish, right? Should somebody
Correct. Yes.
clarified in Spanish?
Yes.
Okay. If we don't have any questions right now,
I have one question. I'm currently a student and I'm a student employee, and I'm a senior I'm graduating this semester, and I was wondering till what time we're allowed to work with UTEP as student employees. Are we allowed to work with you guys after graduation, or does it stop right after you graduate?
That is more of a human resources question. My understanding, what I do know for a fact is that if you are an international student, that you can only work with UTEP until the last day of finals. And that is because your I-20, the document that international students need to be able to study here at UTEP, expires when you stop pursuing that degree, because you're no longer a degree seeking student because your program of studies has ended. So that I know that in other instances, if you're a domestic student, then they may be a little bit more leeway where you can work a little bit longer, but that's something more than a question more for human resources. They would be able to tell you for sure when would be the stopping date for you to be able to work with the university.
Definitely, thank you.
You're welcome.
We have a question in the chat. Will the PowerPoint presentation be uploaded? Claudia, would you be able to provide us with the copy of the presentation that we could send?
Yeah, sure. I can share that with you all.
Great. And then can I go ahead and put your email in the chat just in case anybody has any questions like that they think of later?
Sure. Yes. If you have any questions, feel free to reach me. My email address is cpdominguez@utep.edu. And yeah, let me know how I'll be able to assist you, and I'll be more than happy to do so.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Claudia.
You're welcome.
I have a question. I'm an international student, and I would like to know how to apply for the on-campus student employee program. How can I apply for that?
There is no application as such, like for example, like what you find with work studies, that's a program, and actually I'm very glad that we have here Marissa from financial aid, because she can probably elaborate a little bit more on the work study program. For the student employment opportunity program, it's not somewhere that you need to go and apply to that. You already qualify for that. All you need to do is to go into JobMine and look for those opportunities. So when you are looking for employment, instead of looking at all opportunities, the first search that I would do if I were you is to go and narrow the search by student employment opportunity program opportunities for employment, like the one we saw right now with the Office of Student Support Services program, SSSP, that one for a tutor position. That one would be open for all students.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions that I may be able to answer for you?
Okay, so I did publish your email on the chat. And again, if anybody has any questions, just put them in the chat and we can check in on those.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
So next we have Marissa McLean, who is the Student Financial Services Advisor for the Office of Financial Aid. And Marissa, I don't see if I can share my screen with you. I actually don't. Is Marissa on the call? I don't see her name.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, sorry. There you are.
No, it's fine.
Cool. Can you are you able to share your screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Whenever you're ready.
Okay, are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so hi, my name is Marissa McLean. I work for the Office of Student Financial Aid, and I've been working there for the past year and a half. And yeah, so I'm here to talk to you all about the Federal Work Study. Federal Work Study is part of your financial aid award. So as Claudia had mentioned, in order to qualify for Federal Work Study, you do need to be eligible for federal student aid or state aid. So what is Federal Work Study? So as mentioned before, Federal Work Study is a need-based program, which is why it does require you to complete a FAFSA application to determine your financial need. And it is eligible for students to meet the cost of their post-secondary education. The FAFSA does need to be completed every academic year. Normally, the priority deadline is January 15th for the next school year. So normally, the FAFSA will open up in October, the very first day of October for the next school year. So the 2021-2022 FAFSA opened on October 1st, 2020. So that application is already open, and students should go ahead and complete that if they haven't already done so. In the FAFSA application, there is a question that says, do you want to be considered for Federal Work Study? A lot of the time students don't know what to put. You have three options. You can put yes, no, or don't know. I always recommend students to go ahead just because Federal Work Study is a great opportunity for students. It's additional funds that students will receive, and it allows students to build their resume. So employers will see on your resume that you are not only receiving your education, but you're also working part-time and gaining work experience while you're enrolled. If you indicate yes on the FAFSA that you want to be considered for Federal Work Study, but you receive your award letter and you see that you don't have it, then you would want to visit our page to go ahead and submit an application to be considered for Federal Work Study. So Federal Work Study does not have an official deadline. The FAFSA doesn't either. It is a priority deadline. So that means that if you want to be considered for priority based on your eligibility, then you do want to have your application in by a certain time. So it is highly recommended to go ahead and complete your FAFSA prior to January 15th of every school year, just so that you can be considered for the maximum amount of aid based on your eligibility. When you're employed for federal work study, you're employed part-time. So the maximum amount of hours that you can work is 19 hours per week. And you do need to be enrolled full-time for the fall and spring semesters. And then for the summer, you would need to be enrolled in at least 3 credit hours. There are times when a student can work 40 hours per week, but that's only when they're not fully enrolled in courses. Just keep in mind that if you were to work 40 hours a week, let's say for spring break, you might finish your federal work study funds quicker than you anticipated. Employment must be approved, must be an approved federal work study position on or off campus. So the way you would know if a job is available for federal work study or is a work study position is through the job mine. And that's where you apply for the positions on or off campus. So in order to be eligible for federal work study, you do need to be eligible to receive federal student aid. As mentioned, you do need to have a FAFSA on file with us. You need to have unmet financial need. So what this is that you need to have room in your financial aid awards for need-based aid. And the way we determine your gross need is by your budget. So the budget is the estimated cost of attendance that we calculate for you all. It's just an estimation of what it costs, which includes tuition and fees, books and supplies, transportation, miscellaneous. And then we use your FAFSA. So your FAFSA will give you an indication of where your financial need is. This indication is called the expected family contribution, or an EFC. So once you submit your FAFSA, you'll get the confirmation page and it'll say your expected family contribution. So what we do is that we subtract the estimated cost of attendance from the EFC, and then that determines if you're eligible for any grants. You'll then also add if you're receiving scholarships or anything like that. And then if you still have unmet gross need, then at that point, you would be eligible for federal work study. Students do need to be a degree-seeking student, meaning that they need to be working towards a degree, and the courses that they are taking do need to be part of their degree plan. So you just want to make sure that every time you register for your courses, that all of those are contributing to your degree plan. As mentioned before, students do need to be enrolled full-time. So that's 12 credit hours in the fall and in the spring semesters. And then in the summer, you would need to be enrolled in at least 3 credit hours. So 3 credit hours normally is 1 course for the summer. So if you don't already have federal work study on your financial aid awards, you do want to go ahead and complete a federal work study application. Federal work study applications can be found on our website. If you go to financialaid.utep.edu, and then in the lower left corner, you would go to where it says types of aid, where it's highlighted, and then select types of aid, and then federal work study. There, you'll see a paragraph that explains federal work study, and then you'll see a highlighted PDF link to the application. You'll go ahead and click on the link for the PDF and fill out the form. Once that form is completed, you do want to email it to Ms. Irma Walsh at istewart@utep.edu, preferably from your @minors account. And you'd want to make sure that you include your UTEP ID number in any of the communication that you have with our office. You do also want to make sure that your FAFSA is completely submitted without any pending documents. So in order to be awarded, students do need to have their application complete. So students can log into Goldmine, go to the financial aid tab, and look at my eligibility and then student requirements just to see if you have any pending items. If you're able to see your awards, normally that means that your file is complete. And then to determine if you're eligible for the federal work study, you would want to proceed with submitting the application. So as we are working virtually, I'll go ahead and send a link in the chat as well. So in our office, we are doing also virtual appointments. So virtual appointments can be scheduled through the link that I'm attaching here in the chat box. They are done through Teams. When you follow the link, you can go ahead and select a date and time to go ahead and meet with a financial aid advisor. And it's a one-on-one meeting for 15 minutes where you all are able to ask any questions that you may have. And that's all that I have for you all today. Do you have any questions?
Also, I included some links to the Career Center, to the Office of Financial Aid, the student work study page. And then I also included a link to our parents page and to our parents Facebook page for your reference. But yeah, does anyone have any questions for Marissa or anything that we could go over again?
Federal work study is a great opportunity because a lot of the times the employers, they know that you're students and they'll be able to work around your class schedule. So there's benefits to federal work study because your employer knows that being a student is your #1 priority. So when it comes to midterms, exams, finals, they're able to work with you once you communicate with them to go ahead and adjust your work schedule.
Yeah, that's very important. Okay, Marissa, you said they can use that link that you sent to set up any an appointment with you or for like a counseling.
Yeah, so it'll be like meeting face to face as we would if you all went to visit the office. But unfortunately, due to the current health crisis, we're not able to do that. So by following the link that I've provided, regardless if it's a question about federal work study or not, you can follow the link to set up an appointment. And it'll be a 15-minute appointment through Teams, face to face, and you can ask any questions regarding your financial aid account.
Okay, great. Well, if nobody has any questions, I think we can wrap up. I will send, for anyone who's interested, I included the link for our parents page, as I mentioned. In that page, we have a resources tab. And under that tab, we load all of our recorded sessions. So you can look back and see, in case you missed any information on this session, you can go back and look at this. And also the PowerPoint presentations that we presented today will be available. All right. Well, thank you so much, Marissa. And we will be sending out the flyer for the upcoming parent session in March. And please keep an eye out for that. And hopefully you can join us then. But thank you so much.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. Don't hesitate to make an appointment, you all. We're here to help you and assist you. And you all can always email us or give us a call, okay?
Thank you. All right. Good night, everyone.